Welcome back to my series on showing you how to spot fake vintage Coach bags in the wild. And buckle up because this first one is crazy and maybe one of the best fakes I've ever seen out in the wild. If you're new here, my name's Annette and I'm a fashion reseller. I'm also a trained handbag designer and a Coach aficionado. And because of that, flipping Coach has kind of become a niche for me. And knowing how to spot the difference between an authentic and a fake has become really important to my business. And I'm sharing all my tips and tricks with you guys in these videos. When I saw this, I was internally screaming inside because I thought it was the Ergo Zip Bag in Nubuck. Now, quick leather lesson here for those of you that don't know. Nubuck is created using top grain leather that has been sanded or buffed on the grain side or the outside exterior part of the animal / leather skin. And suede, which has a similar feel, is the inside of the skin or the interior side of the leather skin. That's why on Nubuck, you get this great pebbled natural grain texture of the animal skin. Now back to this bag that I am very excited to find in the store. I am looking this all over, looking at the seams, looking at the construction to see if I think it's shoddy. It looks pretty good to me, all things considered. And of course, I'm going to head online and do some research. And the first thing that I noticed is that the zipper puller doesn't match other ones that I'm seeing online. It should actually be a little bit more elongated. So that's data point number one for this is not looking great. Next, I'm going to take a look at the inside, of course. We're going to look at the creed in depth in a minute, but I also start to see that the lining is actually ripping out of the seams in both corners. Right there and also over here. So right away, I know that if I buy this to resell, the cost is going to be reflecting that damage that I probably won't be able to fix. But we don't know. We don't know yet if I should invest in this or not. Now, I was posting about this find in my stories on Instagram, and a follower pointed out that the creed actually says glove tanned on it. And when I looked at a authentic bag that was sold on Etsy online, I realized that the wording on the creed was wrong and it should actually say Nubuck on it. So this one, if you look really closely, it says full grain Nubuck leather. So right there, that was the axe for me. No matter what else, this bag is totally a fake because it does not have the right wording. I did, of course, notice this weird spacing where the creed wasn't really centered on this patch. It does have the correct style number in it. So, again, this is one of the best fakes that I've probably seen out there. And if you didn't know to look for glove tanned leather verbiage versus Nubuck, you wouldn't have known. And they wanted $90 for it. So thanks to that follower, because I would have been out $90 thinking this was a real bag. This was a real tough one, you guys. I was very close to buying this and I wanted it to be authentic so bad because this definitely would have resold for over $300. This next style was definitely very easy to tell that it was fake if you looked closely at the details. So I think this wants to be a Taylor zip bag, but when we look inside the creed, we actually see, first of all, a horrendous stamping job. It looks like the coating on this material was some kind of a plastic that melted as they embossed it. We also see the style number 9927. And not only is this the wrong style number for this style, it's also the style number of a very famous style called the Willis bag that's very well known. So if you had even known that, you would have known this is a fake. It's got the wrong zipper puller. That front pocket too is also very straight. It should curve downward. This side anchor tab is actually very close to the correct shape, but it should have square rings, not D-rings. And not for nothing, but she definitely needs to be cleaned out. But this is a fake through and through. The rest of the bag looks okay. The construction and the stitching is actually not terrible. You can't always tell. It's not always so bad that you can tell that the bag is a fake. But they obviously thought it was real because they were asking for $80. So for a bag that's illegal to sell technically, this was not coming home with me today. Our final candidate today is one that I see copied very often. This is definitely trying to be a city bag. It's a very popular style, but I can tell right away from that front turn lock that this is not a real Coach bag. It's not the right turn lock at all. So right off the bat, I know this is either counterfeit or it's a dupe. Let's keep going and take a look at the underside of the flap, which you already know is going to have the wrong grommet on the backside because this is just not the right lock at all. But you never know, maybe somebody had to replace the lock and it could be an authentic bag with a replaced lock. But one look at the inside, we see there's no logo, no Creed stamp, nothing to say that this is a Coach bag or a Coach branded item. So this is technically a dupe and not a counterfeit, and it is legal to sell, although they are very obviously and very closely following the city bag style and construction. They want $21 for it, which is actually fair, I think, for what it is, and the fact that it's not counterfeit works in their favor. I hope you wouldn't be fooled by something like this either, since there really is no Coach branding on it whatsoever. Coach would definitely stamp their city bags with a Creed. If you appreciated this content, consider supporting me with a like, a follow, a subscription in my IG or to my YouTube channel for all things vintage Coach, flipping, vintage Coach, reselling, leather, handbags. Thanks for watching and happy thrifting.